welcome back to my channel. Now, it has been a while, let me tell you, since I have done a talkie video, so bear with me because I'm gonna be slipping up. Anyway, a few of my friends have asked me to do this video and I've been putting it off for a bit, I'm not gonna lie, but today is the day. A lot of people will be thinking about this topic now and I think it is the perfect timing to get this out into the YouTube universe, so I'm gonna do it. We are talking about the wonderful world of drama school auditions. Woo, woo, woo. I'm so cool. So a few of my friends have sent me some questions that I can answer and I'm just going to do my best to answer them honestly. Disclaimer, this is all taken from my own experiences and my own opinions, and everyone's drama school audition experience is going to be slightly different because we're all different people obviously, but I'll try and answer it in the most impartial way I can, which will be helpful for all of you. And even if processes slightly change throughout the years, it should still hopefully apply. I watched a lot of videos like this before I did drama school auditions and I found them really helpful. It's just nice to hear other people's opinions, I think, and even if you don't necessarily agree with them in the end, it's still nice to know sort of what you're getting yourself in for. So I hope this is helpful. It's just something fun. So anyway, I'm rambling. Let's get on with the questions. Let's go! So first of all, somebody asked me, what are your recommended best drama schools to apply for? Honestly, this is such a hard question because it really just depends on the person. I think the main thing to do before you go to any auditions or book any auditions is to go on the drama school's website and see if that's somewhere that you would like to train. For example, if you're a really strong dancer or you're more interested in dance or you enjoy dance more, then you're going to go to a college which is mainly focused on dance. But if you aren't a strong dancer or you're not as interested in that, then you'll be geared towards a different school, if that makes sense. Something that I did is message people who go to that school already, and that's not saying take their opinion 100% and run with it, because obviously everything's going to be different for you because you're a different person, but it is nice to see what people think of the school who are currently training there. Yeah, I don't really think there are any schools that are better than others, because if you put in like the work and the effort, then you're going to get a good result no matter what. But it's important to go somewhere where you think you'll be happy. Definitely check websites and do your research, but I wouldn't say there are such thing as best schools, because there are performers in the industry from every single school, all sorts of universities, people with no drama school training, people with a million years of drama school training. It's just about where you will be most happy, basically. So the next question is, was the process different from other university applications? And I would say it definitely is. It's quite difficult actually. There's a lot of different ways. So some of them do use the standard UCAS method where you'll apply through the UCAS website. So you'll apply using the normal university method where you pay the, I think it's £25 fee, and then you can choose 5 options of university courses, and that's quite simple actually. Some drama schools go through the UCAS Conservatoire site, which is still through UCAS, but you have to go onto the separate site, which is UCAS Conservatoires, and just search for the schools there, and you also have to pay 1 fee and you get, again, 5 choices. There's only a few drama schools that are on there. Other schools which you just apply straight through their own website. Like, obviously this could all change, this is just what I had to do last year for myself. You just apply on their own website and that's quite straightforward. Obviously for some, so if you're going on the UCAS ones, you're going to need a personal statement as you would for a normal university, but if you're applying through straight websites, it just depends on the school. So it's definitely important to do your research before you apply so that you have all the necessary documents. That's it, documents. And as always, if you do want to know anything about applying to drama schools, the next question is, when would you recommend to start preparing for drama school auditions? Honestly, I think the sooner the better, because the sooner you know your monologues and your songs, the more they're going to be ingrained in you and you're not going to be worried about forgetting the words and things like that. But I wouldn't say you need to prepare like years and years in advance. I mean, I prepare for things a bit too early. I mean, I'm watching Christmas movies right now, so maybe a little bit too early. A few months before I knew what I was doing, but that doesn't mean that through your auditions you can't change songs or monologues. I would sort of pick songs to start off with, but if you want to change it up halfway through, that is fine. Just play it by ear, as they say. Once you book them and you know the dates, try and make sure that a few months before you've got the material down, and then it should make you a bit more calm in the audition as well. And if you're talking about preparing for the next set of drama school auditions, I would say maybe start preparing in like October, November. Not saying like prepare every single hour of every day, just going through songs, maybe choosing a few songs that you might want to do, or a few monologues you might want to do, reading some plays for monologues. That leads me on to my next question, which is about choosing your songs and monologues. How do you choose them? How do you know which ones to take? Honestly, I think one of the best things to do is ask people who know you, so people who know your voice type, to maybe suggest some songs that you could listen to and pick out ones that suit you or ones you enjoy singing. And it's the same for monologues. It's great to have a monologue that shows off your personality. If you suit comedic characters, it's not gonna make you look better if you do a really serious monologue and you just don't enjoy reading it. The main thing I would say for songs is don't get too hung up on a song being overdone or too popular, because sometimes the ones that are super rare and not overdone end up being used loads because people think no one else will use them, and that actually happened at some of my auditions. And the most important thing about your song, the most important thing, is that you can act through the song, because that is what everyone is looking for at the end of the day, is your ability to act. So if you pick a song where it's not so easy to act through it, that might not work to your advantage. But always ask your teachers or friends or people who work with you a lot what their opinion is and if they have any recommendations for you. That's my tip. On the monologue side of things, there are a few websites you can find monologues on, like Monologue Blogger and Stage Agent and Backstage. However, it's almost every drama school will ask for you to do a monologue from a play, not a monologue that's like a standalone monologue. Kind of the only way you can find monologues is to read plays. There are a lot of plays online you can find for free or for a very cheap price. Also, you can get plays in bookstores. If there is a playwright that you enjoy, then it's good to look through that. Also, monologues, kind of choose ones that fit your age range, just because it doesn't make sense to go in and be like a 70-year-old woman, because you don't know what a 70-year-old woman feels. So kind of stick to your age range. Doesn't mean you have to be like your exact age, but just around that age range. It'll just let them see a more accurate depiction of yourself. So it's always important to check each drama school's website on their audition section to see what they specifically ask for, because every school wants different things. Most drama schools will ask for a legit song, which is one that was written before 1965, usually at that date, around that date, and a contemporary song, which is a more modern song. Sometimes they'll ask for a legit ballad specifically, or sometimes you can do an upbeat legit song, so it's definitely worth checking the website. It's the same for monologues as well. They'll often ask for a contemporary monologue, so one more modern, and often from a British playwright as well, so definitely make sure you're picking one from a British playwright if it does say that, and a Shakespeare or a one from around Shakespeare's time. So it's worth reading a few Shakespeare plays and a few modern plays around about now, just to sort of see which ones you might want to choose for your auditions. The main reason why they ask for two is to see contrasting sides of your personality, or just contrasting character types you can play. So if you are taking a legit and a contemporary, they usually will contrast anyway, especially if it's a legit ballad. Maybe do an upbeat contemporary. But just if they show some sort of contrast, it should be okay. Hope that helps. Now I have some questions more on the audition day itself. Oh, I've completely forgotten what the question is. 1 second. So the first one is, how did you warm up on the day if you had to travel down on that day? So obviously travel for everyone is different depending on where in the country you're coming from. Obviously I was coming from the northeast Newcastle area, so it was quite a long train ride to get down. For most auditions, with them starting at like 9 AM or 8:30 AM, I did have to travel down the night before. So if you do that, you can obviously warm up in your hotel room, which might annoy some people. And I know that no one wanted to hear me doing some sirens in the Premier Inn in Greenwich, but you gotta do what you gotta do. If I was travelling down on the same day, which I also did for some auditions that started later in the afternoon, then I literally just warmed up in the middle of the streets. But the main thing to remember is that in every audition I went to, literally every single one, they did a vocal warm-up with the whole group at the start of the day for some, or just before your singing auditions for some. So if you can't get like a full warm-up in that you usually would do, I really wouldn't worry about it, because they do schedule that time in and they know that people are coming from all across the country. And before your singing audition, you'll probably have a little break where you can go to a toilet or something and warm up your voice, so don't worry about it. I literally warmed up in the Nando's toilets once, so when there's a will, there's a way, and you just gotta do it. The next question is, are the staff at auditions really nice or really rude? And this question literally made me laugh. I genuinely was worried about this. I thought that walking into a drama school, it might be like really intimidating. Everyone would be like, scary. It's not like that. All the staff are really lovely and supportive. So if you have any questions or anything, do not be scared to go and speak to them. Because at my first audition, I was like,
oh my god, I can't even talk to these people, they're gonna hate me.
That is not the case. Same goes for a lot of students help out at the drama school auditions who currently go there. They are not intimidating whatsoever. They are so lovely. So do not be worried about that, because it will be absolutely fine. And just focus on yourself, really. The next question is, in your opinion, what do you think the panel prioritise more, acting, singing or dancing? I definitely think, and I think in all of musical theatre this applies, that acting is the most prioritised. As I said before, it's just what people want to see more in a show. Even if someone's like the most incredible singer in the world or the most incredible dancer in the world, if they're not telling the story, they're not going to be cast or they're not going to be enjoyable to watch. So I definitely think the panel prioritise acting the most. So that means that even if you're not confident in something, if you act your way through it and you tell a story through it, they're going to be much more happy seeing that than if you miss a step or sing a wrong word. Someone else also asked me, how important is the dance side of the audition? I think so many people worry about the dance call in the audition. I personally was very worried about it as well. But I'm just going to say that it is not the be all and end all. If you're not a confident dancer or you just get really nervous in situations like a big dance call, do not worry. It's just one part of the day. And in almost every drama school audition, they do give a score. Nobody else finds out the score, but they do give a score for each part of your audition. So even if you aren't a great dancer, but you're an amazing singer and actor, it's going to balance out and you're still going to get a good score. It doesn't matter if you're not a strong dancer, because there are millions of West End shows where there is little to no dancing in, and some of the biggest West End stars even say that they do not dance. When you're auditioning for drama school, you can't get out of a dance audition. The dance call is always going to be part of the day because it is a component of musical theatre, but I wouldn't worry about being really the best dancer in the whole world. As long as you try your best and you act through it and show some sort of character, they're going to want to see that more than absolutely immaculate steps but just nothing happening with your face. So my top tip, don't know if it works, but I just sort of smile through the audition and do some fun acting. Looks more fun than someone who's just dancing with a straight face. Maybe that's just me overcompensating, I don't know. But anyway, the dance side, it's gonna happen, but just try to enjoy it. There were so many people in my auditions who were so nervous for the dance side, but we all just sort of had fun, and you're dancing to musical theatre songs, so what's not to enjoy about that? Someone asked, are there a lot of people at auditions or are the numbers quite small? Honestly, it just depends on the audition and on that day. I would say the biggest number I auditioned with, I think it was about 60, but you're never with all those people at once. So even if it's 60, you're split into about 4 groups. So you're in like groups of around 12. And honestly, it does not feel like a big group at all. Most auditions are average of around 50 people per day, but you will never see all those people. Some of them you will not see the whole day. And it literally just feels like a dance class or a dance workshop. It's not like, I watched so many YouTube videos where people were like,
oh my gosh, it's like a cattle herd, there's like millions of people, there's thousands.
And I was like,
oh my gosh, this is gonna be so stressful.
And on the day I was prepared to walk in and see hundreds of people, and it just was not like that. It was absolutely fine. There was plenty of space and everyone was split into small groups. It was not intimidating. I mean, obviously that does depend on the year, how many people apply, or how the school does it. They might do less audition days, which means they're going to be more populated, but if they do a lot of audition days, it's going to be smaller. But it really just depends on the day, but don't let that put you off. Just try and focus on yourself. That is a tidbit of advice. So someone asked me if I did any auditions when I was having a bad day, and do I think that affected the outcome of the audition? I think that I definitely would have done auditions when I was having a bad day. It's not something you can avoid, unfortunately, especially within the industry. When you get auditions, it's not like you can reschedule the audition really. So if you are having a bad day, you kind of just have to do it anyway and try and brush it aside, which obviously is easier said than done. So yeah, I definitely can think of auditions where I wasn't necessarily having a good day that day or I wasn't feeling too confident, but it's just part of the job, I guess, to kind of brush it to one side and just focus on the day at hand. So I think if you're having a bad day, and especially during drama school auditions, which are quite stressful, and it's a hard time, especially dealing with rejections and that stuff which you might not have dealt with before, I think the best thing to do, which I wasn't the best at doing, is to kind of forget about the auditions which might not have gone so well in the past and just focus on the one that's happening that day, because you can't control what's already happened, you can't change that, but the one that you're doing now, you have a little bit of control over. Even if you don't have no control of whether they'll allow you into that school, you still have control over having a good day and enjoying yourself. As for affecting the outcome, I think potentially it could, if you were having a really, really bad day, say if you were ill, or if your like bad mental attitude at the time is affecting your performance, maybe it could, which is why I think it's really important to try and just focus on the day and do your best. But if you don't get in and you think it could be because of your attitude on the day, do not beat yourself up about it, because you can't change what's already happened, and you did your best that you could on that day. Like, even if you go back and you say, oh, I could have done so much better, no, on that day you literally did what you could. You couldn't have done any better because you put everything into that day. So don't beat yourself up about it. Just try and go in and think, well, no matter what, I'm going to do what I can today, and I'm going to have a good time, and I'm going to learn from some amazing teachers, and it's going to be good. So don't blame yourself afterwards. None of that. Someone also asked me, how do you not let nerves get the better of you on the day? It's really hard, honestly. On your first audition, you will be nervous. Like, that is just how it goes. When you do anything for the first time, I think it's natural to be nervous. The absolute tea is that everyone is nervous. No one's gonna say that. No one's gonna say, oh my god, I'm so nervous. Well, sometimes people do. Maybe this one might have said that. But no one's going to be outwardly really nervous, but everyone on the inside is feeling the same thing. Everybody is nervous. Everyone wants to go to their drama school so much, and everyone is going to be a little bit scared. So just remember that everyone is feeling the same as you. You're not the only one who's nervous. But don't worry too much about it, because being nervous is a sign that you really care about it and you really want to do this. And if you weren't nervous, I'd be more concerned, because that means that you clearly do not care that much. Obviously though, don't be too nervous. Your first one is going to be quite nerve-wracking, but the more you do, your confidence will grow and you'll get used to the layout of the day and how it feels. Yeah, it'll just feel a lot better the more you do. But for your first one, just accept that you're going to be a bit nervous, and it is going to be okay, because everyone else is too. Main tip is try and get a lot of sleep, which is hard if you're in a hotel room in the middle of London where it's a bit loud. But anyway, try and get as much sleep as you can. Lavender works wonders. Sleepy from Lush, must recommend that. Water, not like drinking absolute gallons, but sips of water, and plenty of water to keep your vocals alive. And also maybe just like ringing someone and talking to them on the morning, just letting your feelings out. You should be good. Once you get in, you're going to forget about it and just enjoy. And the last question is, what is the most important thing you learned whilst auditioning?
Do not compare yourself to other people, period.
That is the most important thing that I learned in auditions. If you're focused on other people and you're comparing yourself to other people during the audition, you're not going to give your best performance, because you're going to be thinking about everyone else. And honestly, you are not anyone else. No one else is you. Everyone's on a different path. Everyone has different strengths, different weaknesses, different personalities, different characters, different accents, different looks, different everything. Everyone is completely different. And don't give me that,
What if everyone's different and everyone's the same?
because that's a lie. If you compare yourself, you're going to be focused on them, and you need to be focused on you, because you're the one that's important. So don't think about what anyone else does in the audition, whether you hear them sing, or you see them dance, or you see them act. You hear that and you think, oh my god, I'm still not as good as them. Get that out of your head. Just know that you are the only one of you, and you're the only one of you who will audition for that school. So don't worry about someone else being better than you, because everyone has their own individual strengths and talents, so no one is really better than you. And that is definitely the most important thing I learned in auditions, and something that I will take with me throughout musical theatre, and I think it's just an important thing to remember in life in general. The second most important thing I learned is that Nature Valley bars do not travel well. Oats everywhere. Everywhere. Anyway, that is the end of the video. I hope that you enjoyed me answering all of those questions. If you're not interested in drama school, I don't know why you watched to the end, but I hope you enjoyed me sitting here talking to you. If you want me to answer any more questions on drama school audition stuff or any of those little mini topics specifically, I could do a video on. I'm not a pro, I'm not an expert or anything. If you have any like questions for me, I can just share my own experiences. It's not expert advice, it's not absolutely A star, but it's my honest opinion and it's things that have actually happened in the real world. So let me know if you want to see any of that. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Bye! I don't know why I did this. That's for the start of the video. Bye!